So we're at the part of the agenda where we're going to
Floor is open. Yeah.
Or discuss the reconsideration of any recommendations. I know there is one that's been brought up. We could, if there's not additional ones, we can get into that one right away.
Okay, well, actually, Benson, I'm just going to open the floor to motions for reconsideration.
Okay.
Yes, Mike.
Yeah, I'd like to move to reconsider the Monroney sticker recommendation 3.6.6 and withdraw.
Do we have a second for that motion?
To reconsider?
To reconsider.
Okay, I'll second it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Then the floor is now open for discussions. And Debbie, I know you have a presentation as well. Yes.
So we'll let Mike start off.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to highlight just 2 points from the discussion this morning. The first, that it's not so much about privacy, it's about using the Monroney sticker as the vehicle for privacy information. Second, Hillary Kane's summary statement included a note that this group, not being familiar with the topic, not the privacy element, but the other side of it, the Monroney sticker, it was getting out over its skis, I think was her comment, and that this really needed more study and investigation and maybe some consumer feedback before making a strong recommendation to actually do a thing. Thank you.
Okay. Debbie, did you want to respond to that?
Sure, absolutely. First of all, with all due respect to Hillary and Mike, I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm the top person in the world in the thing that I do. I've researched this in great detail. I actually advise companies that create telematics systems, so I know a lot about this data. I will go through that in my presentation. The Monroney sticker is a consumer disclosure canvas. That's what it's for. So this is a perfect place, actually, to be able to put this information in there, and I can cover that in the presentation.
I think this is a good time for that presentation, Debbie.
Yeah.
All right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
First of all, thank you to Maria, who helped me research a lot of the consumer information in here. It's very helpful.
Welcome. Thank you.
All right. All right. So I'm going to start out with some statistics. 95% of passenger vehicles by 2030 are likely to be embedded with some type of internet connectivity. 91% of households have at least one vehicle as of 2022. They used to be 40% of consumers thought that the car buying process was transparent. That's dropped down now to 26% as of 2022. This was a statistic that Andrea mentioned in his presentation today. This was something that was not on his radar last year because this was not an area that consumers said that they cared about as much last year, but 39% of consumers now consider data privacy highly important during the vehicle shopping experience. 72% don't like the fact that automakers are sharing their third-party data. 71% actually would consider buying an older car or one with less technology to protect their privacy. As a matter of fact, the Wall Street Journal had a article that came out yesterday saying that for the 6th year in a row that people are keeping their cars longer. And one of the reasons for that that was posited is that people are uncomfortable with the data sharing and data collection that happens in newer cars and about the transparency of that. Cyber attacks in vehicles went up 140% in 2021. So as of 2021, we had the most cyber attacks ever at that point from vehicles. A cyber criminal can buy someone's car and vehicle data for $2 on the web, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. 1 in 3 cyber stalking incidents uses GPS technologies. This is from the U.S. Department of Justice Bureau of Justice Statistics special report. So the Mozilla Foundation did a study. I talked about it last year when I introduced this proposal to begin with. On their website, they actually have 17 pages of data that's collected by a car. And to actually answer Anne's question for today, one of the reasons why this creates a privacy issue is because this data can be accessed, whether someone has physical access to the car, or some of this data is being transmitted out of the car wirelessly. So things that people don't think about, like, for example, many advanced or newer cars have in-car cameras, and a lot of people don't know that, right? So there may be video or still images that are captured about someone, and those things can be transmitted outside of the car. If you connect your phone to a newer car, it will download your contacts. If you're doing browsing in the car, it can download that information. I had a situation, and this really opened my eyes to car data. I had gone out of state, drove my car to a dealership, the brand of car that I had, and I said I wanted an oil change. I asked them, I said, I'm not from here. I've never been here before. Do you need my name, my information? And they're like, no. So they put a dongle underneath the dashboard, and lo and behold, it pulled up not only all the technical specs about my car, I had my name, address, phone number, financing information. It was in the car. So they didn't have to do any special process to do this. Those actually, the dongles that you can connect to your car, anyone can buy that at AutoZone for nothing, practically. So it's very concerning about the types of information that's being captured in cars. Jean Coulter from the Mozilla Foundation called cars a privacy nightmare. She said it's impossible for consumers to try to understand what is in cars. This is a summary of that report. Basically, the Mozilla Foundation last year, I think this report came out in September 2023, reviewed 25 automobile brands. Of those brands they reviewed, 100% collected personal data, 85% sell or share personal data wirelessly, 92% provide little or no control for consumers over data. 68% had a bad track record, meaning they had been hacked and had other issues. And 0% of brands follow voluntary privacy principles. So this is the privacy principle that Hillary talked about earlier today in her presentation. It's called Consumer Protection Principles, and is led by her industry group, which is the Alliance for Automobile Innovation. So in this report, as of September 2023, the privacy principles for this organization talk about things like data minimization, transparency, and choice, but the number of car brands to follow these principles are 0. And actually, Tesla, Renault, and Dacia are not part of that, this voluntary program.
Can we ask questions throughout this?
Sure.
Could you go back a couple of slides to the cloud?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my understanding. If you look on the column on the far right about the middle, it says the car records your sexual activity.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that, so I looked it up, and it looks like the Mozilla Foundation's methodology for assembling this list is to see what's allowed for in their privacy principle, or not privacy principles, their
Privacy
privacy
policy.
policy. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, if they say we might collect X, then it's on this list. So is that correct? This is not what is collected. This is what the lawyers who wrote the privacy principle policy said that we're going to protect for.
Yeah, that particular item, right, that was something that was in a privacy policy that some companies had, but the majority of the things on this list are actually collected. So, yeah.
So I looked into the Mozilla methodology also, and the other thing that they did, besides looking at privacy policy, was look at app permission requests.
Yep.
Again, not what data is collected. So I didn't see anything about them actually looking at data. Is that in there?
Yep.
Or is it only
they look
app
at
permissions?
data. No, it's not app permissions. I mean, that's part of it, right? So
Well,
there's data in the telematics. There's if someone has an app or they use an app, there are certain things that are collected there. And obviously, if someone, let's say, if you have a loan or you have a direct relationship with a particular car company and they're, you're communicating with them, there are things they're collecting. But all that is kind of wound up together to create, maybe profiles or different things about people. But the things I'm talking about really are things that are actually captured in the car. Because as I said, I work with companies to do this work.
okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's skip forward. Toyota. Actually, they had a 10-year data breach. It was over 2 million people. They were exposed because of misconfigured databases, in-vehicle GPS, chassis number, vehicle location number. A big issue with the car companies, obviously, there's financial and reputational issues, costly recalls, legal liabilities. As a matter of fact, I think GM now is embroiled in at least, last time I counted, 10 class action lawsuits as of last month because of a report that came out in the New York Times, and I'll talk a little bit about that. In addition, this, data breaches erode consumer trust, and it also results in lost sales. Okay. Also, there may be financial fraud, companies being held for ransom, and it creates more burdens, not only for consumers, but also car companies. The number of connected vehicles, as I said, that were attacked, had cyber attacks, rose by 140%. That's what they add in there. Auto hacking. So auto hacking is when cyber criminals try to extract sensitive data from cars. So whether that be to control or manipulate the car or the vehicle or how it works, to be able to gain access to maybe trips or different things that are happening in the car. Sometimes that may be to gather data from phones or phone data that has been attached to the car that actually has been downloaded into the car. This is interesting. Cyber criminals typically can purchase someone's financial stolen records off of the dark web for $1,000. But for car data, this article says, why pay $1,000 when you only need $2 to steal a car's identity? Some of the things that can happen when this happens, people can illegally register their car from this. I've actually seen stories where cyber criminals, they have enough information about a car to actually create a lien on a car. So let's say you bought a car free and clear, you have the title, decide to sell it. You can't sell it because when they look up your title, there's a lien to it, and they did that because they were able to gather enough information from your car to be able to do that unbeknownst to the owner. Identity fraud, loan fraud, there's enough information in cars that someone could literally not only steal your identity, but actually perhaps buy another car or do something else with it. Mail fraud and phone fraud. And this actually happened to someone that I know. I can tell you the story. When we talk about things like car warranties, I think people already know that you probably have always, over many years, received letters in the mail about a car warranty, and you figured it was fake and you threw it away. But now what's happening is that because people can access this data, they may have more information about your car that makes those letters seem more credible. And actually, I knew someone who signed up for, this was a Honda. It was a Honda extended warranty on a car that was paid for. The letter came with a VIN number. They knew that the car was paid for. They knew how many miles was on it, and it turned out to be fraudulent. So theft of personal information, including GPS, driving patterns, vehicle registration details. Sometimes that's in the telematics systems. And that raises huge concerns about privacy and identity theft. Some people have cars where, for example, you may, instead of using an independent car garage opener, you may program that into your car. Someone could take that information, clone it, and actually open your garage door. That's a problem, right? The inability of customers to control their own personal data can mean life or death. This is a statement made in April of this year from a California Assembly Privacy Committee staff person. The Future of Privacy Forum, they're actually talking about the implications of driver safety systems and the need to consider privacy and data protection, implications for cars as they incorporate new technology. Customer awareness provides individuals to empowers them to take proactive measures to protect their privacy and their vehicle data. Okay. So in the news, Gina Raimondo said access to connected vehicles pose a serious risk to national security and personal privacy of citizens. Ed Mackey and Ron Wyden say always-on connections and location collected data sent back to automakers can seriously threaten American privacy. This is about a story. Actually, there were two stories that came out of the New York Times in the recent past, in the last couple months. One is about automakers sharing customer data with insurance companies without people being informed that their information or their insurance may be impacted by maybe their driver behavior. Also, data brokers. So in this particular story that Catherine Hill wrote in the New York Times was about General Motors and them selling customer data about maybe their trips, where they drive, where they hard stop, and different things like that, and actually using that in a way where insurance companies buy the information and that may impact someone's premium. So a lot of people in the story, for example, maybe their premium went up, or actually there's someone who filed a lawsuit against GM actually because they were not aware that they were signed up for these tracking things that would impact their insurance. Senator Mackey says the Internet of Things are really intruding on the lives of Americans. And he thought collecting that data unbeknownst to the person that raised their insurance rates may be a violation of the FTC Acts. That was recently. This goes back again to these voluntary commitments that Hillary talked about. Senator Wyden and Mackey actually sent a letter to the FTC. This is in April, saying that 9 of the 14 automakers who had previously voluntarily promised that they would require a warrant or a court order before turning over GPS location data did the opposite, and they listed the automakers here. The FCC, they're looking at potential rules around companies to sell data of individuals, especially as it relates to domestic violence survivors. GPS tracking can be exploited for domestic violence abusers. This is basically a bill that's being proposed in California by Senator Dave Min. There have been a couple of positive developments, although maybe not far enough. Toyota and Lexus now grant all U.S. customers the right to delete their data. Currently, that right is only at a state-by-state level. And also GM, because of public pressure, and also a direct result of Kashmir Hill's reporting, and the New York Times stopped selling OnStar data to data brokers, LexisNexis and Verisk.
I'll just note for attendees that this presentation is available on the NIST IoT Advisory Board website.
Yeah, this is from a New York Times article in December. This woman was a victim of domestic violence from her husband, and she was not able to get her GPS tracking stopped so this person could stop stalking her. Eventually, she had to pay a mechanic $400 to disable GPS in the car and also disable other features in the car as well to stop that tracking of her. This is a lawsuit that was filed by who's named Mr. Chico. He said it was denied insurance coverage as a result of a 258-page driver event report that he received, and actually is suing because he thinks that the report lacked context in regard to the circumstances, and he thought it was inaccurate. From Justin from Tennessee says you can't purchase a new car without a privacy invasion. This person, Larry Reed and Daryl McCoy, are suing a lawsuit saying that they were automatically enrolled in these data collection schemes without their explicit knowledge or consent. This person, Leslie from San Francisco, says, I did not buy a $60,000 privacy sharing machine. If you share any of my information, driver information, I will not buy your car, period. Sunnyside from New Hampshire said that. There's also a study here in Science Direct about people who really wanted to try to be informed about data collection practices and saying that they really can't understand why certain data is collected, even when they go into these reports. I'm sorry. All right. Okay. All right. Nobody should have to be a lawyer to read the fine print on a auto purchase agreement. That's what Call It Like It Is from Minnesota said. This journalist, Randy Mulla, says she tried to turn off opting out of certain data collection and it took her a month to do so. Also, when she inquired about trying to get her data deleted, she was informed that she did not live in one of the 5 states where you can exercise your customer rights to delete your data. It's being tracked. State legislation, there's a bill. Actually, this is in law already. It started in January. It is about in-car cameras. So in the state of California, automakers have to disclose in their owner's manuals, and they have to let people see it before they buy a car. They have to tell them how many in-car cameras they have and what they're doing. Also, this prohibits companies from selling or advertising based on images or video that they have in in-car cameras. Also, this law prohibits the transmission of a video or image that is captured by an in-car camera to be transmitted outside of the car without the express affirmative consent of an individual, and it has to actually allow someone to revoke that consent. In Illinois, they actually have a new law went in January about mandating deleting personal data from recovered vehicles. So recover, whether they were in an accident or repossessed. Companies who handle this have to actually sanitize the data. New Jersey also wants to make sure that dealers delete personal information before a car is sold. So maybe a used car is sold or a car that's leased and transferred to someone else. The history of the Monroney sticker, I think Hillary actually said it well today. It was a law that went into effect in 1958. It's called the Automobile Information Disclosure Act. At that time, part of the history a lot of people don't know is that at that time, one of the impetus behind Senator Monroney to start this pledge towards creating more consumer transparency is that people were not buying cars. So the car selling industry was in a big jam because people weren't buying cars. And part of that is because when they would go to dealerships, they didn't really list what the price was. So people felt like they weren't getting full transparency around what the price was. And at that time, automakers were against this sticker. But what happened as a result of that is that car buying shot up right after this. This is the long title of that bill. It says an act to require full and fair disclosure of certain information in connection with the distribution of new automobiles in commerce and other purposes. So that act went into effect for model year 1959. Took quite a while before the EPA decided they wanted to use the sticker for environmental information. And then in the 90s, that's when the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration came about. Since then, there have been other laws that have been passed that actually expanded some of the information that's actually on the sticker. And now there is some rulemaking that is happening on potentially some other changes that around cars that may or may not result in other changes to the sticker. For regulatory bodies, we have Congress, of course, but the Federal Trade Commission, they have traditionally taken the lead on consumer disclosures and enforcement around privacy. Because the NHTSA, DOT, and EPA have some experience, there is something that FTC can possibly lean on there. This actually came out yesterday, directly to car makers, the FTC. Car makers, the FTC will take action to protect consumers against illegal collection, use, and disclosure of personal data. They have reiterated for anyone who did not understand that the U.S. government now considers geolocation to be sensitive data, and disclosure may be considered unfair practice or can be unlawful in certain situations. Talk a little bit about type of vehicle sticker. So Monroney sticker is made for new cars. So the box here where it says EPA and the box here where it says 5-star safety rating, those are standardized on all stickers. That's really why it's really important. So it doesn't matter where it is on the label. It just has to appear in this way, right? And it does not necessarily have to be in color either. As you can see, the sticker also has been updated over the years. So there's obviously the VIN number there. There are some QR codes there and lots of space, if you can see that. This is for a different Ford car, just to see what the sticker kind of looks like. This is a buyer's guide, and this goes for used cars. So obviously used cars have lesser information on their label, but obviously if people want to buy those cars, they can always go back to see what the original information is on the Monroney sticker. This is an addendum sticker. These are like supplemental stickers that dealers have. So for example, they have some type of special promotion or special equipment that they add. This is just a supplement that they can add to a car. Earlier today, we talked about costs. The last government study that I found from 2007 from the NHTSA about vehicle stickers, they estimated that the cost was not a significant impact to manufacturers because they thought the cost was between 9 and 16 cents. And the cost variations based on whether someone wants to print a sticker in color or black and white. Here's some examples of what we thought, what consumers really want to know. A QR code to the privacy notice, whether the car collects personal data, sells it, or if there is an option for a universal opt-out. Here's an example of what it could possibly look like on a new sticker, the other new sticker, possibly the buyer's guide, potentially an addendum sticker, just as an example. Some negative impacts, and the reason why I think this is a good idea for automakers to really embrace this. First of all, transparency is the future. That's the way that things are going in terms of what consumers want, what the direction of regulation is going to. Automakers are negatively impacted when they have data breaches or things happen around privacy. People buy less cars. There's more litigation, recalls, reputational damage, customer dissatisfaction. Just like the woman said, she won't buy a car from a company that sells her data. Also, for consumers, there's a lack of trust. No one wants fraud or identity theft. People are concerned about their third-party data sharing without their knowledge. They need transparency, don't want things like cyber stalking, phishing attacks, and also be concerned about personal safety and things like insurance. So why this and why now? I think this is the time that we can really step in and really elevate U.S. leadership in vehicle privacy. We want to really be able to boost consumer confidence so that they are understanding of what's happening in their car. We want to reduce the support economic stability and reducing auto-related cyber breaches. I know from my experience of working with cars and car companies, a lot of this data collection is not necessary to operate the vehicle, and it just creates risk for the consumer. Enhanced privacy, enhanced safety related to cyber stalking, also supports innovation, innovating for companies to be able to figure out what are the best, for example, privacy enhancing technologies or the ways to be able to reduce data collection that creates more safety for people. And so here's the recommendation. I didn't make any changes really except to add in the fact that the buyer's guide is for used cars. And then I also added in the EPA since they have information on the sticker. So any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Could you go back to the mock-ups, please?
Yeah. You want to see the big one?
So, would it be reasonable if we go forward with this recommendation, would it be reasonable to be specific about those 4 details?
What do you mean? Would it be reasonable?
To edit the recommendation to say, and it should include these 4 things.
I think we actually have it in there already.
Is it in there already?
Yeah. I think that's already in there.
Actually,
I couldn't
maybe Greg.
find it to pull it up.
Okay, Greg, could you pull up the recommendation as it currently stands?
You say that again, Barbara?
Can you pull up the recommendation as it okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I put it on screen.
You've got it on screen. Okay,
Yeah.
so actually you are, Debbie, as I understand, you're proposing a couple of edits here to the existing
Yeah.
recommendation.
Are
your proposed edits? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. We can.
So this is.
So I didn't add in here the QR code. QR code of the privacy policy, and then I did add in here data sale and then universal opt out. But are you thinking we should be more specific about that?
You've got a mock-up. Look, we could even include the mock-up. I mean, this is a lot less than what you're actually asking for is a lot less than adding a privacy policy or a significant amount of information to the sticker.
Right. Yeah, it's something. If someone's interested, they can look and see. They can pull up the policy and be able to see more detail.
So where, I'm trying to read through this quickly, but where do you itemize the details?
Well, I just right here where it says I just said this encompasses data collection, retention, sale, universal opt out, but we can make it more specific to that example. That was just my example of what I thought it could be.
Could we work on that text?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's go back. So, Greg, you listening?
I'm listening. Yes,
Can
ma'am.
we change this, that one sentence and add in privacy notice, collection of personal data, sell personal data, and universal opt out? Universal opt out is already in there.
Yeah, that's in a separate recommendation, all right? You
No,
saying
it's the same one. It's here.
It's in the supporting text. It's the recommendation itself is very short.
Right,
It's in the supporting text.
right. It's
The
here. You see?
recommendation is only to require IoT privacy information under
okay?
COGS.
Yeah, but I was thinking of 3.3.5, which is universal opt-out signals. So that's okay.
No.
No,
But yes,
this
I
is
see.
the
I see that.
descriptive
I see that sentence in 336. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So just add those things. Universal opt out is already on there. So
Okay. Can you go back just for a moment?
yeah. Oh, I do the big one.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah, I would include this graphic.
Okay. I mean, this is like, yeah, if y'all can make it better.
One of the things from a UX standpoint, they might need some work to actually do this, but as an example of the type of what we're trying to show here is you could get some of the key pieces of information in a very small space is really what this is showing, right?
Exactly.
I would, but when I look at it from a UX standpoint, I go sell personal data X. Does that mean it does not sell personal data, or does that mean it's bad because it does sell personal data? I don't know what the X means. So it's not intuitive as to do it like that, but just as an example of the kind of message we want to convey. It's good for that. Not that we're saying it needs to be that.
Yep. Done.
I just don't want somebody to shoot it down because it's confusing
I've
UX.
added that text. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And that's it. So that was the recommendation. So if you make that change, that's fine with me. I'm sure the General Motors would have been happy to have this because they probably wouldn't be embroiled in lawsuits right now if they had that on the label. That's it. That was the end of my presentation.
So,
Any questions?
or is there further discussion? And is there any modification of the motion?
So can I ask about the next steps on this text, because today is our last day, right?
Mhm.
So how do we make, I mean, I think this is a
You pull up the
substantive
text.
edit.
You pull up the text and make so we can see the text change on the screen.
Yeah.
Or Greg has it, maybe.
Yeah, Greg has it.
Okay, so then instead of this encompasses, the indicators should cover
Mm-hmm.
whether the vehicle collects personal data, comma, whether the personal data is sold, comma,
Mm-hmm.
whether there is an option for universal opt-out,
Mm-hmm.
period.
And the QR code to the privacy policy.
I was going to try to put that in a second.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, there should be an and there, sorry. In addition, there should be a QR code pointing at a privacy notice. period. And then probably should not say QR code, just say QR code or equivalent.
That sounds fine.
Pointing to an online privacy notice.
So I wonder if also the small graphic is whether it collects personal data, whether the data is sold. But if the QR code didn't just go to a privacy policy, but additional information such as what personal data is collected, what personal data is sold, and to whom, what personal data is shared and to whom.
Well, I think we're not there yet.
Okay, so get this part first.
Right, yeah, let's get this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is another one where probably we want a new line and a short paragraph saying details, including availability of space and viability of this information on the Monroney sticker should be studied, including and as well as the contents of the online privacy notice, comma, consistent with the goals of this recommendation.
Yep, that's
good.
Sounds good. Yeah.
I like how Greg's mind goes ahead. I can fill in the blanks here, but I got to capture the next part. Details regarding the availability of space and the contents
of the online notice.
Yeah.
Availability of space. Yeah, could we say details regarding the availability of space, comma, viability of the Monroney sticker as a vehicle for this information, comma, and the contents of the online privacy notice should be studied. So Debbie, if you're right, and the Monroney sticker is fine, then that shouldn't be an obstacle.
Yep, that's a good change. It's a good update.
Debbie, can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
So as we're going through that right at the end, and I think we're talking about the QR code. I'm in my car, so I'm not in front of my laptop.
Yeah.
But I think we were talking about the QR code linking to the privacy policy.
Yeah.
So is it, and I think we were talking about the online privacy policy, but wouldn't it be more correct to talk about the underlying privacy policy, or is that a distinction without a difference?
I think it may be a distinction without a difference.
It might have to point to multiple privacy policies, right? Because it's not just the car can have several different ones. The OnStar might have a different, whatever.
It's not consistent.
Might have them.
It's not consistent. But I mean, typically companies will have a privacy policy that talks about the privacy of the item. So it wouldn't be the online policy, right? It will be whatever that is. So
yeah, that's what I was getting at, because of all of the work over the years on short notice, because that's in a way kind of what this is. It always pointed back to the privacy policy.
I'm sorry, the privacy notice. I meant that.
Privacy notice. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm using privacy notice and privacy policy synonymously, and maybe it doesn't matter, but it's just a question. So if no one else is and not that it's just a clarifying question. So
yeah, I think. Well, so I think I said privacy notice. That's what we want to say, not policy. I think I said notice, didn't I? I can't read your screen.
You did most of the time, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
but are we talking about? You're talking about notice, but aren't we actually really talking about the underlying privacy policy? a company say
Well,
a company we're talking about their
The problem
privacy
is,
policy.
Debbie, let me take a first
Yeah.
crack and then you can.
Mhm.
The problem is privacy policies are written by lawyers who cast a wide net. They'll put in everything they can think of, and that's why
Yeah.
the Mozilla report is so challenged, because they use privacy policies, and so they go from, the lawyers have made a space for us to collect all of this, to they're definitely collecting all of this. So it'd probably be better to do something after the study goes through the needs that we're elucidating here.
But a notice is different from a policy. So I think what we want is a
I'm
notice.
saying the same thing. We're on the same page.
Yeah, notice,
Yeah.
that's what we want. It's not the policy, it's the notice.
Okay. All right. I'm fine. Thank you for that clarification.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Could we scroll back up and see the top text, please? Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Is new significant?
Well, actually, so we have this is a change that I made. So the Monroney sticker is for new cars and the buyer's guide is for used cars.
Okay, that's what I was trying to think of.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a change to the title?
Yeah, I think we should add in the and buyer's guide for used cars.
I think that first sentence also needs to distinguish, because otherwise it looks like we're trying to say there should be Monroney stickers on used cars, which we're not. So that might just need to be clarified in that first sentence, no?
I mean, what do you think, Greg?
It'd be great if there were a catch-all term that covers both.
We can just say
Consumer
window stickers. I mean, the reason why we use Monroney because people know what you're talking about. People who know this area,
I didn't until you told me, but yes.
Yeah, but they know that it covers
that thing.
This category of stuff that we're talking about. So,
right.
I mean, they're really
automotive sales window stickers.
Yeah, they're like point of sale.
Yeah, I think the word Monroney needs to be in there though, because I think you're making it confusing. People know that this category of stuff, they call it Monroney, right? So
let's throw
Monroney
in a
stickers
sentence
or
at the
Monroney
end.
labels.
Let's throw in a sentence at the end. While this recommendation is specific to the Monroney label, the buyer's guide for used cars should also receive the same treatment.
That's good.
Yeah.
I support that.
Very good. Thank you.
Is it Monroney label or Monroney sticker?
Call it
Looks like online they call it a label.
Yeah, let's call it a label. It's fine.
Okay. I'll make that throughout. And I know there's some red lines you caught in your slide. Give me 1 second.
Let me just check, Mike. When the editing's done here, will you be changing your recommendation?
I'll withdraw.
Changing your motion. Thank you.
I'll withdraw it and I'll let somebody move to adopt the new text. Because we are making substantive changes, I think.
Yes.
I move to approve the new text.
Okay, let's finish the new text and then.
Okay, go.
little quick, but.
Okay. Is this correct?
Here's my name. It's true. I think notice this for used vehicles. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Nope, wrong one, Greg. Okay, can you remind me what else changed? I know there were some other changes in your slide.
Yeah, the only other change in that last paragraph I made is around.
Is this EPA?
I pulled out CISA. CISA, I took that out, but I put in Environmental Protection Agency, EPA.
Cool.
NHTSA is part of the Department of Transportation, aren't they?
They are, but decide to call them out. It's true. I got that from there's a GAO report about this from 2017, and they mentioned them this way. So I was trying to align with that. Basically, agencies. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I have seen them called out separately before as well. I've always wondered about that. It doesn't make any sense to me, but
no, I didn't understand either. But I'm like, okay, I'll put it there.
Does that help say other elements of the DOT?
I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine as it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Was that it? There was something up above, wasn't there?
It was the buyer's. It was a reference to the buyer's guide, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's addressed by what we just changed.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
All right. Can I motion now, Barb?
Yes, you sure can.
Okay, I motion to accept this into the report.
I'll second it. Yep.
Any further discussion?
Can you just go through it one more time, just so I see all the new changes?
One more, but I'm also in real time debating whether it's stickers or labels. Do those of you?
You can do label if you want.
Okay.
It's fine. I mean, technically it's a sticker, but it doesn't matter. It is a label
that they call a label.
It's a label, right? It's a label that has tape on it.
Yep. I just want to be consistent.
Yeah.
Okay. So hopefully you'll still be able to read it. I'm just trying to zoom out so you can see the full thing.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't go any farther. I might not.
Yep. Sorry. Okay. Just tell me when it's okay to scroll.
That's fine. Okay. Okay, you can scroll down for me.
Okay. Just a few more.
Do we want to add any we talk about government agencies? Do we want to add relevant auto associations or no?
No, because whenever they do a change like this, they do rulemaking, and so that brings in all those people.
You're right. Okay, never mind. Okay, thank you.
Thanks to everyone for listening to me babble. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Mike.
By the way, Debbie, those pictures were fantastic, but it looked like they're generated by AI.
They are. They were.
You brought a very comprehensive.
She had a notification on every one of them.
Yep.
Barbara,
Clearly labeled.
Barbara, we need to vote on the motion.
Yes.
I know we'd still need to vote on the motion. I just wanted to thank Debbie for the very comprehensive way.
Yep.
Oh, thank you.
Brought that in. Okay. Do we have any final discussion? Okay. Then all those in favor of the motion to accept this text and this to the recommendation, please raise hands. Thank you, Mike. Okay.
Dan raised hand.
Thank you. Hands down. All those opposed? I believe we have consensus.
Woo-hoo.
Thank
Thank you all.
Yay.
Thank you, Mike. You did improve it.
Debbie, we need to see those slides again. You need to walk us through 90 slides again.
Well, the pictures were fun, so yeah.
Okay.
Are there additional recommendations that anyone wants to reconsider?